You are not alone. You are not alone. Now, whether or not you've been feeling like that, whether or not you may feel like that, doesn't really matter. Whether it's a past thing, present thing, future thing. At some point, that right there, you are not alone. Will mean certain stuff, because I know very well at a time and place, and for a long time and place, I felt alone. Even being around people that have support. It's like, throughout your life, you are going to be alone. You're going to be faced with solitude. You can be faced with isolation at points. But at the same time, that darkness and that solitude, removing darkness from the solitude in itself isn't a bad thing, isn't a negative thing. It's a neutral thing, and it can be either positive or negative, but ultimately it's a neutral thing. And with 231, as you can see in the title, believe in yourself. Things that I've talked about on this channel, things I'm going to be talking about on this channel, it's prevalent. I'm not here to debate whether or not angel numbers are real, whatever. Nah, I'm not here to debate whether omens are real for you or not. If you have omens, you have omens. If you see omens, you see omens. If you see signs, you see signs, man. It's no matter how alone we are, and no matter how alone we may feel, we are not alone. Now, that could be anxiety inducing, or that could be relieving, or it can be anything else. That's solely up to you and your current position. A lot of times, our perception on life is a projection of the image we play, the movie we play in our mind, the sounds we play in our mind. The projection is obviously all inner. When a situation happens, you don't control the situation, but you control how you react to the situation. And depending on how you react to the situation, you can therefore control the situation, or control the dynamic, the flow of the situation. What I really wanted to try to talk about is you have to believe in yourself. You have to constantly believe and have confidence and have love for yourself, because you're gonna have moments where you're faced with doubt, where you're faced with walls, where you're faced with barriers, things that are trying to prevent you, hold you back. And when you are, now this may resonate with you, but if you are highly favored, if you are just favored, if you are favored in itself, you are favored by light and dark, you are favored by good and evil, you are favored by the heavens and hell, and you're favored by different dimensions, different beings. Strength doesn't come from anything external. Your resilience doesn't come from anything external. Your confidence doesn't come from anything external. Your love does not come from anything external. Your happiness, your joy, your liberation does not come from anything external. It comes from you. Not your thoughts, not your body, but you, your soul, your inner, your spirit. Now, take that what you will. There's different beings, higher beings, lower beings, frequencies, all matter. We are I don't know how much we matter, how much water are in us, but it doesn't really matter. Regardless of it all, frequencies play a big part in kind of how we feel, how we could feel. So with that, the things I've said about the emotions, not emotions, but the feelings and the state of being, I mentioned earlier, and the frequencies, if things are clashing internally, you're gonna see external clashing. You're gonna see external struggles. I mentioned projecting. Sometimes you consciously project your perception. Sometimes you unconsciously project. When you're going through tough times, because it's gonna happen regardless, it's gonna happen no matter how much you try, no matter how good your life is going for a stretch of time, you're gonna be faced with tough times. And during those times, you are most likely going to be alone. You may have support, and that's great. Always be not prideful. What's the opposite of pride? Be open enough, I guess. Be open enough to be able to ask for help when you truly need it. Go through things on your own. Go through the struggles on your own so that your strength, your resilience, your character are forged by your own experiences, by your own hands, by your own abilities, by your own thoughts. That way, if you're faced with losses, turn those losses to lessons. Turn those dark days into soil. And make that soil the foundation for what you stand on. Don't allow yourself to stand on quicksand. Don't allow yourself to stand on broken ground. Create the foundation for yourself. Take this how you will. Build the foundation for yourself. Forge it over and over again. Don't ever believe you're perfect. Don't ever believe this is the level that you should stay at. This is the level that everything should stay at for you. I'm not saying to every day constantly break down, go through breakthroughs, but don't allow yourself to be complacent. Don't allow yourself to stay rigid. Don't allow yourself to stay stuck. Acknowledge what's going on internally, the good, the bad, whatever. Address it, acknowledge it, assess it neutrally, all neutrally. Don't add negatives, don't add positives. Don't say, oh man, life is getting hard, it's gonna get harder. Life is gonna deal you challenges regardless, but if you continue to project and to exalt negativity or just positivity is, you want positivity. If you're gonna exalt negativity, you're making it harder for yourself. And I know this very well. You know this very well, King. You are what you think. You create the situations that you're gonna be dealt with. It is how it is. I mean, not everyone is gonna have that ability. Not everyone's gonna have the potency of that ability. Some people are truly I don't know what the word is, but some people have true capabilities that exceed other people's expectations. If that's one of you, that's you. But if you are favored, you know it. If there are omens, you would see it. Maybe it's a conscious thing, maybe it's unconscious. Start paying attention. Start paying more attention. If you are already, start paying more attention to your surroundings, to the little things, to the bigger things. Don't just focus on the leaf. If you do, you'll miss the tree. Focus on the tree, you'll miss the forest. See everything in its entirety. That's what it means to truly see. That's not a direct quote, it's kind of a jumbled up quote from Vagabond manga. Great writer, great. And question things, I'm not saying become a philosopher, but question and start to ponder on you and your situations and your mental and your day-to-day. Sometimes you can wake up good, you feel good, and you can go on your day, but then something happens, something flips. And sometimes it's just a natural way of things, and then in that, just acknowledge it. Acknowledge how you feel and be present. Don't be regretful. Don't be spiteful. Don't have remorse for your situations. Be grateful that you are being challenged. For that in itself is your opportunity to grow. That in itself is you stealing your resolve. That in itself is the light that you need in that dark. When your fire, internal fire, maybe getting dim, maybe going out, those challenges, and I mean this sincerely from my core. Those dark days, months, years, moments, whatever, are Mount Everest times 10 when you're living in it. But if you are capable of just 1%, every so often, every day, maybe it's every week, every couple of days, how incrementally, if it's 1%, improve. If it's 1%, write down, acknowledge, analyze, assess what's going on. You're gonna have stressors, you're gonna have moments where you're down. That's just what it is, man. That's just life. That's just life. Whether you are an enlightened being, whether you are an unenlightened being, the struggle is a process of life. Animals go through struggles, planets go through struggles, the earth goes through struggles, we go through struggles, life just goes through struggles, man. 2, 3, 1. If you see that, if you see numbers, if you see whatever signs, pay attention to them. Listen to when people talk. Listen to what people say. Observe, because you can learn a lot that way. When it's added on to also your experience, you can learn a lot just from others. I have, good and bad. Regardless, if you got into this, if anyone has gotten to this point, you are not alone. You are loved, and it may not be close. That love may not be close to you, but you are loved. And if you don't love yourself, don't expect others to love you. Don't expect others to be capable of loving you if you yourself don't have love for yourself. If you yourself don't have respect for yourself. If you yourself are not accountable, responsible, reliable for yourself. If you yourself cannot depend on yourself, why should others have that for you? Why expect that from others? It's redundant. It's an oxymoron. There's a lot of responsibility for people. I realize I have a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. And I realize this is a long journey. And I am a being who loves a challenge. And I'm not regretful for these dark days, because I made it out, man. I made it past daily thoughts of suicide. Like, I made it out of very dark times, and if I could do it, I know other motherfuckers. I know you watching this right now. If you're going through these dark times, if you're thinking about suicide, if you're thinking about harming yourself, or not even just thinking about it, if you've done it, because I tried it a couple of times. I've tried hurting myself, offing myself, shit like that, man. It's just like, if you're going through this, I'm gonna be blunt. No one's gonna fucking hold your hand. No one's gonna fucking hold your hand through this, no matter how much you ask for fucking help. No one's gonna be able to hold your hand through you going through hell. But ultimately, that's what you need. That is ultimately what you need. You don't need other motherfuckers to help you out of situations. Now, what I said earlier, ask for help when you need it, and be mindful of who you're asking for help. Because be mindful of who you talk to, who you listen to, and who you ask for things. There's a lot of snakes. There's a lot of snakes out there, a lot of lizards, a lot of reptiles, a lot of fakes, a lot of backstabbers, a lot of rats. And this is what I want to talk about. I'm sorry I didn't talk about it earlier, but I'll definitely make a video about this. But intuition, that gut feeling you have, listen to it more often. Because more often than not, your intuition knows what you want. Because that's you, nigga. You know what you want. Ultimately, you know what you want. If you want a surefire or like almost a guaranteed method of, if you're ever confused in a situation, get a coin. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to Looney. She fuck Canada. But get a coin or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Flip it. Pick something like, do I want pizza today? However I feel. Whatever goals you have in your mind. Whatever objective you have in your mind. Acknowledge that. Realize it. Think about it whenever you're making a decision. Whenever you're making the option for yourself. So let's say I want pizza today. Do I want it? Yes or no? Heads, yes. Tails, no. When you flip it, if you're confused, flip it. I didn't catch that shit. Flip it. The shit landed on heads. I would get pizza today. But I'm broke as fuck, so I'm not getting no pizza. In that moment, it's flipped. Consciously, you're thinking, A, I want this. B, I don't want this. Or C, there's something entirely else that I forgot about, that I did not even can think about. Or something entirely else that is better than these two things. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. 16 minutes? What? Yo, I swear to God, I looked at this shit not too long ago and it was 10 minutes. Look, you were not alone. Pay attention to what's going on inside. Don't let your thoughts, don't let your emotions dictate your actions. You have full control over yourself and only yourself, not your situations, not other people. You have control over how you react solely. Remember that. No one controls you, no one influences you. You influence yourself. You allow others to have influence over you. Stay strong. Stay resilient. Never lose hope. That's all I kept telling myself. The last thing you should lose, the last thing you should ever lose is hope. Because if you know, one day, if you continue to believe, if you continue to act, if you continue to create action, and not just think and not just ponder, if you're not staying still, like step, move. If you're falling, fall forward. If you fall down, your back reaches the ground, get back up. If you fall down 8 times, get back up 9. You are stronger than you believe. I found that out for myself. I am stronger than I believed I was. And I believe you